Ready with the red stag, tail of the tape. Nick DELOMBA, 1-0, weighing 146.5 pounds, sitting at 5 feet 8 inches from Cranston, Rhode Island. His opponent, EVINCII DIXON, 2-1 with 1 knockout, weighing 144.5 pounds, sitting at 6 feet even from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. For the official fighter introductions, let's head down to the center of the ring with Jamie Bellevue.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the co-feature of the evening. It is the Red Stag and Jim Beam bout. 6 rounds of boxing in the welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at 144.5 pounds, wearing the blue trunks with white trim. He stands at 6 feet even inches, hailing from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, with a professional record of 2 wins against only 1 defeat, with 1 win coming by way of knockout. Here is EVINCII DIXON! And fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks trimmed in white, weighed in at 146 pounds, standing 5 feet 8 inches, hailing from Cranston, Rhode Island, with a professional record of 1 win and 0 defeats. Here is Nick DELOMBA!
Here we go, a 6-round welterweight bout. Coming out of the red corner, EVINCII DIXON, wearing the blue and white trunks from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, 2-1 with 1 knockout. The 22-year-old fighter goes by the nickname Prize Fighter. His opponent, Nick DELOMBA from Cranston, Rhode Island, wearing the black trunks and the yellow shoes, won a 6-round decision in May against Jimmy Smith, another pro debut fighter. And here we go in. He's only his 2nd pro fight, Steve, and his 2nd 6-rounder.
I don't know. I got a lot of mixed emotions about that. You know, for a kid who was a pretty good amateur, you know, he was a good amateur to come out and fight his first fight as a 6-rounder. You know, continue obviously with a 6. I don't think you would go from a 6 to a 4. You know, you're kind of jumping right in. You know, and we'll see what happens. It worked out for him his first fight, but I'll tell you what, late in his first fight against Jimmy Smith, which was a great fight, you know, he did get hit with a lot of shots late, and he did get a little bit tired, and, you know, maybe you think they went back to the drawing board, but now they threw him right in another 6, and here we go.
When asked why he went with a 6-rounder in his pro debut, he said he wasn't one of those guys that won all sorts of medals and tournaments as an amateur, so he wanted to jump right in and prove he belonged by getting to a 6-rounder. And we're going to see as his career progresses, there's a big difference between a 4-round fighter and a 6-round fighter, and he's skipping over all those 4-round fighters that he could have got. Maybe built his record up a little bit. And this guy he's in with tonight, EVINCII DIXON, he's a tough fighter.
You know, the other thing is when you're pro debut, 1 fight, 2 fights, the guys you're fighting, you know, usually have the same amount of fights. And they're jumping into a 6, you know, so it's not just Nick, you know. He fought a pro debut guy who also fought a 6-rounder, you know, so, you know, it's interesting. Instead of climbing the ladder, he's going right at it, and here he comes out with a good hard right hand. He's putting a lot of pressure and trying to get this guy right out of here. Another good
right hand by DELOMBA. He's got EVINCII up against the ropes. We saw in that first fight, Steve, he had an incredible pace for the first 4 rounds. He did slow down a little bit, but his stamina was clearly noticeable in that fight. Did he have superior stamina to Jimmy Smith in his pro debut?
Without a doubt, Nick works hard, and I've been in the gym with him a lot. He works really hard. He's got some good trainers. They do the right thing in there, and he knows what he's getting into. He's working the body right now like a real pro.
Very busy round here for DELOMBA.
Uh-oh. He got caught with a counter shot. He opened up and got hit with a counter right hand. And here comes your adversity. Here's your 6 rounds that you wanted. Let's see what happens.
Nice punch there by Dixon, caught him off guard, off balance him down to the canvas, and suddenly a round that DELOMBA was really in control of, now completely flips the other way with the knockdown there by Dixon. In under 30 seconds as round number 1 comes to a close, and well, DELOMBA was going to go back in the corner thinking he was up 10-9. Now he's going back in a 3-point swing, down 2 points.
Absolutely, he went up from up 10-9 to down 10-8.
When you go, look at me. When you sit down inside on your punches, right? Sit down on your punches. Hit and protect. Don't leave yourself wide open. Okay? Keep jabbing. Jabbing the chest. Work the ugly stick. Stop working the ugly stick. Come down here. All right? Pull that off, brother. All right? Yes. Look at me. Don't go straight back with your hands up. Angle on the way out. That's the only thing you're doing wrong. Keep your pressure up on him. You're hurting this motherfucker. Stay on.
You know, Nick said he slipped right there.
Turn out your punches, sit. Turn out your fucking punches, sit a little better. You get him his body good. Back. Don't go straight back with your hands.
Looked like he had the help of a right hand. It wasn't a devastating knockdown. He got knocked down, he got right back up. He looks like he's together, and I expect a good round out of him. Okay?
Sure, but credit Dixon with seizing the opportunity. He saw DELOMBA was coming in, throwing a lot of punches, and it really just took one punch to catch him off guard.
Yeah, when you're in there fighting and you open up with a lot of shots, you start to forget that the guy, the other guy's punching too. So that's usually when you see a lot of knockouts. When in between exchanges, when you throw a shot and he throws a shot, the guy who usually gets it home first is the guy who's successful.
EVINCI Dixon turned pro in June, and since then he has had a pro fight every month. He lost his pro debut in a unanimous decision in June. He came back and won a decision of his own in July, and in August 15th he had a knockout over Ramon Ellis. And here he is, his 4th month as a professional fighter in his 4th professional fight.
He's got a lot of confidence out there right now, doesn't he?
Yesterday at the weigh-in, Dixon almost kind of mockingly said, why would he want to fight me? Did he not watch any of my tapes? Is he looking at a different EVINCI Dixon?
I'll tell you right now, Nick's finding a home for that right hand. Every time he throws it, he seems to hit him with it. Whether it's up or down, he's really hitting him with that right hand. He puts a left hook behind it, we can get interesting. There's a right hand again.
I know, two fighters really going at it here in the corner.
But remember, this is what happened last time when he opened up with a shot. He got caught in between.
He's got EVINCI up against the ropes, and this is where EVINCI was able to handle it from last time. .46 seconds to go here in round number 2. A busy round for both fighters.
Nick's got to get back to combination punching. Can't just look for that one home run shot. So he's just hitting that one right hand to the body, the one left hook. He's got to put a couple together. There you go. There you go.
Final second to go here in round number 2.
Excellent round.
And in round number 2, a close round there, Steve.
Yeah, you know, if you look at your effective aggressiveness, you know, Nick backed him up the entire round. But the flip side to that is, you know, he got hit with a few more shots that round, but turned around a little bit. I would have to say Nick won that round. I would say even in rounds, but down in points because of the knockdown in the first round.
Listen. That's the only way he's going to score points. And standing there on the road
to Mickey Wall.
Sticks. Look, watch this kid. And catch him with shots.
To help support those who are
round number 3. Again, of a scheduled 6. We're only a third of the way through this action-packed fight. And so far, Steve, certainly the fight of the night.
Very good pace, a lot of action. Both guys throwing a lot of shots. We've had a knockdown. It's a great fight so far.
Again, DELOMBA seemed to be in control of that first round, was knocked down with under a minute to go. Came back, had an impressive round number 2. Now here in round number 3, a little over 2 minutes to go. DELOMBA trying to get back to the center of the ring and trying to get back to working the body. He was very effective there in the first round.
You know, Nick has a real good jab, and I'm not sure why he's not using it that much tonight. It seems like he's kind of crowding himself a little bit. He has a real good jab to set everything up. I'd like to see him use it a little bit more.
Minute 30 to go here in round number 3. Approaching the midway point. Yeah, nice combination there by DELOMBA.
Excellent body work by Nick. And that right hand still finding a home.
Seems like Nick is very effective when he has EVINCII up against the ropes, but this was also where he got knocked down from.
And he remembers that. Don't let him fool you. He remembers that.
DELOMBA fighting for his trainer and friend, Gary Belletto. .44 seconds to go here in round number 3. Tremendous pace here for both fighters. And we're going to really find out what kind of endurance EVINCII Dixon and Nick DELOMBA have. For Dixon, it's his first 6 rounders, Steve. And for DELOMBA, yeah, he went 6 rounds in his pro debut. That was a whole different 6 rounds than he's going right now.
Absolutely. You know, his opening bout, he put the pressure on Jimmy Smith, and Jimmy really didn't have much to come back. But Dixon's right here. He's not going anywhere. Nick hits him with 2 shots. Dixon hits him back with 2 shots.
Final seconds to go here in round number 3. Dixon gets hit again by another right hand.
Oh, what a great exchange.
Fighters almost didn't even hear the bell ring because they were going at it and the fans were applauding their efforts.
Lean back, come on, take over here.
Nice deep breath. Give me a big one.
Don't let
Ready?
him touch you. If he touches you, hit him back twice.
Stop making use. Look at me. Nick, I know my shit. Make use and hit. Go to the body, go to the head, go to the body, go to the head. But make use when you get in there. All right? Defense is good now. Your hands are up on the way out. Attaboy. That's all you had to do. You want it on your head?
No, I wiped off my head.
Sit a little fucking more. All right? Dig to the body. Listen, you double up on the left hook here and here. Double up. And then come back with the uppercut and dip back over again. Double that fucking right hand up on you. Come on, let's go, baby.
Vocal corner there for Nick DELOMBA, but they're giving some good advice, Steve, and I think they feel confident with Nick's skill that he can certainly take this fight, but a couple of close rounds and obviously trailing 10-8 in that first round, he's going to have to come in here and dominate some rounds.
Well, since the knockdown, he has definitely taken over the fight, and if you take the knockdown away, he's dominated the fight completely. Just the knockdown was the only thing. And they're in a heated exchange right away. 30 seconds into this round, they're right at it again.
Go in the center of the ring. And while most of this fight's been taking place up against the ropes, it's nice to see the fighters exchange here in the middle. And as I say that, DELOMBA trying to stalk his opponent up against the ropes, and he has him there.
And that's what his corner asked for. A couple body shots, body head. You know, mix it up, go up and down, put an uppercut in there.
2 minutes to go here in round number 4. Nick DeLomba 1-0 in the black trunks. EVINCII Dixon 2-1 from Lancaster, Pennsylvania in the blue trunks. Dixon riding a 2-fight win streak. DeLomba undefeated at 1-0 as a professional fighter, but in a heck of a battle here with EVINCII Dixon.
He's not going anywhere.
It's almost like Dixon's baiting him in to throw punches so he can counter off the ropes.
He wants to open him up. He knocked Nick down when Nick was in the middle of punching when he tried to take his head off, and he opened up wide with his punches instead of keeping him tight. And that's exactly what he's trying to do again. He's trying to catch him in between shots when Nick opens up nice and wide.
Minute and 10 seconds to go here in round number 4. Both corners being very vocal as this is an important fight for both Dixon and DeLomba early on in their career. And you know, Steve, we were talking before the fight how maybe these fighters in the 6th round could be a little too early in their career. I tell you what, you can't have this fight in a 4-round fight the way these two are going at it.
You're going to find out if it's going to be a little too early in their career in about 45 seconds. You know, they each have 2 rounds left. You know, it's not like one guy's fighting 2 more rounds and the other one isn't. You know, it's going to be interesting to see who can come down the stretch. Good right hand. He might have shaken his head. No, you know what that means 9 times out of 10?
I got hit.
Yeah, I just got cracked.
Under 30 seconds to go here in round number 4. The fight is just about 2/3 of the way through. Fans getting all they paid for with this bout. Final seconds to go. Dixon, DeLomba, they're going to swing it out to the final bell, trying to maybe persuade the judges here in the last couple swings. And Steve, this fight is 2/3 of the way through. 6 more minutes of battle between EVINCII Dixon and Nick DeLomba.
You got to remember the knockdown too now, because DeLomba is up in rounds 3-1, but only up in points by a point because of the 10-8 in the first round. So if Dixon wins the next round, you know, now it's even going into the last round. It's going to get really interesting here late.
All right, Steve, 6 minutes to go here in this fight. 2 more rounds between EVINCII Dixon in the blue trunks and Nick DeLomba in the black trunks. If you're in DeLomba's corner, he's been fighting a pretty good fight, again with the knockdown, trailing by 2 points in the first round, maybe 1-2 more rounds after that. How do you approach the final 6 minutes?
Well, he's definitely been, outside of one punch, he's dominated the entire fight. So you don't want to do anything different. You just want to do more of what you've been doing. You want to pick it up a little bit more, maybe at an angle, don't stand in front of him, get your head out of the center, you know, a few more combinations. But, you know, outside of one shot, he has absolutely dominated this fight. So he's just got to pick up what he's been doing, that's all. Just put a little more, just step on the gas a little bit.
And credit to EVINCII Dixon coming into basically Nick DeLomba's hometown here in front of a crowd that is very pro DeLomba and hanging in there with Nick. He's baiting him to throw the big shots, and when he does, he's countering really well. One thing DeLomba doing very well, though, Mays, going from the body to the head. He's got great combinations. Minute 30 to go here in round number 5. Dixon, the 22-year-old from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Again, his 4th pro fight in only 4 months. His first 6-round fight. And right here, Steve, is where we're going to see fatigue start setting in if these fighters aren't really ready for the full 6 rounds.
You can definitely see them slowing down a little. Not much, but they are slowing down a little bit. But super impressed by both of these guys digging deep like this in the 5th round. That was a good body shot by DeLomba. I think you heard him a little bit. But this is, you know, these guys are both digging late here in this fight. And that's a real testament to how hard they work out.
And for DeLomba, he's throwing a lot of punches. His combinations are coming off 4 or 5 at a time, and he's not slowing down.
No, not at all.
DeLomba does a good job coming back up top. Under 35 seconds to go here in round number 5.
Good
DIXON.
job by DeLomba.
DIXON just ate a left hook right up into the ropes.
I think
Final seconds.
I was going to say, I think DIXON's fading a little bit. He just threw about 6 straight shots there.
DIXON trying to cover up and survive their last 10 seconds of round number 5, head into the 6th round. DeLomba just keeps pouring on the combinations, and that's it for round number 5. 3 more minutes to go here in this fight, and you can see in the corner of EVINCI DIXON, he's feeling the fatigue.
Oh yeah, looks like he's complaining about his shoulder.
He definitely seems to have hurt his shoulder here, Steve, but think about it from DIXON's perspective. He's now fought 4 times in 4 months, this being his 6th round. Is it possible that he could maybe have fought too much or too many rounds in such a short span of time?
Well, you know, it depends on how the other fights were. Were the other fights battles like this? I mean, if he had 2 other fights that were like this, then yes, I would agree. But, you know, if those other fights weren't as, you know, as grueling as something like this, then no, maybe not.
Stay in the front. Step to the fucking right. Let's go.
DIXON lost his pro debut, a 4-round unanimous decision to David Gonzalez in June. Came back less than a month later with a 4-round unanimous decision. And then in August, he had a 4th-round KO over 4-8 Ramon Ellis. So a 2-fight win streak here for EVINCI DIXON, and that win streak is in serious trouble here as Nick DeLomba continues to apply the pressure with these fast combinations.
That's what Nick's all about, combination punching. He's not a, you know, he can punch, don't get me wrong, but he's not a 1-punch knockout guy. He's going to put them together, he's going to give you an angle, he's going to step off to the side, he's going to get it done.
DeLomba in only his 2nd pro fight, showing a lot of composure here. About 2 minutes to go here in the 6th and final round. Last fight here at Twin River before the main event, brought to you by Jimmy Birchfield's Classic Entertainment and Sports. Pat Sullivan and Steve Mays, glad you can make CES boxing a part of your Friday evening. Minute 44 to go.
Nick with the constant pressure has not slowed down at all in any of these 6 rounds. Still finding a home for that right hand every time he throws it. Still going to the body, doing a real good job.
It is possible, Steve, that if the judges gave DIXON either round 2 or 3, which were close, and he can win this round, this could be a very close fight when it goes to the scorecards.
Well, if he, yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's definitely a close fight. I think Nick kind of is pulling away here, especially here with a little combination. He's got DIXON going backwards.
Under a minute to go. This very pro DeLomba crowd urging their fighter on in the last minute. DeLomba with a nice combination there to the body. .30 seconds to go. Again, DIXON back up against the ropes.
But not stopping, coming back on a couple body shots, trying to come over the top of DeLomba with a right hand. You know, this kid came to fight. I tell you, all these fights that we've seen tonight have been excellent, excellent fights. Michael Parenti doing a great job matchmaking.
Final seconds to go. We have a battle going on here at the ropes. DELOMBA, Dixon trading blows in the final seconds of round number 6. That's it from the Twin River Event Center. The fight is over. The crowd on their feet. Nick DELOMBA from Cranston, Rhode Island. EVINCII Dixon from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. DELOMBA may have controlled the first 5 rounds, but that last 20 seconds or so was great for the crowd.
I'll tell you, that's a really, really close fight. He's down 2 going into the second round. He wins the second. He's still down a round. You know, he wins the third. Now it's even. And if you give Dixon either 2 or 3, you know, this is a really, really close fight. I personally think DELOMBA won the fight. I think he won the last 5 rounds, but you could definitely give a case that he lost 1 or 2 of those rounds without a doubt.
Regardless, a good learning experience here for the young DELOMBA in only his second pro fight. Both of them 6-rounders, both of them going the distance. And that's something that DELOMBA's going to have to deal with since skipping 4 rounders. A lot of times in the 4 rounders, Steve, that's when you build up your knockouts.
Absolutely.
And you get a lot of those against maybe some inferior competition. But when you step up right against 6 rounders, the competition's there, and the knockouts aren't going to come as easily.
The question is, you know, if you went right to 6s, right, when do you go to 8s? You usually do 4 or 5 4-rounders and then go to 6s. And then, you know, 3 or 4 6s, and then you go to 8s. But if you start at 6, what do you do? 6 6-rounders? Do you do 4 6-rounders? Do you do 10 6-rounders? You know, yeah, the kid obviously can do the rounds. I mean, he did his first 2 fights. He went the distance. This was a great action-packed fight. He can obviously do the rounds, you know, but you got to kind of think out the whole entire thing here.
Certainly not the most common route in a boxing career, but nonetheless, Nick DELOMBA has completed 12 rounds in only 2 professional fights.
And you could argue that he's only lost 1 out of those 12 rounds, being the first round here, only because of 1 shot. You know.
More to come here from the Twin River Event Center. The main event, a 10-round female welterweight bout for the Women's International Boxing Association World Welterweight title. Alexandra Magzak-Lopes from Gilweiss, Poland, now living in Marshfield, Mass. Her opponent, Tori Nelson, a former 3-time world champion from Ashburn, Virginia. Just awaiting the final scores here by the judges. And it looks like ring announcer Jamie Bellevue has the scores in his hand. So let's head down to the center of the ring for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about a nice round of applause one more time for these 2 fine competitors. At the end of 6 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Matfish scores about 59-55. Judge Lima scores about 59-55. And Judge Carasone scores about 58-55 for the winner. From the blue corner, Nick DELOMBA.
Well, no surprise there. Steve Mays, Nick DELOMBA improves to 2-0 in his career. EVINCII Dixon levels off at 2-2. Final scores 59-55, 59-55, and 58-55. Winner by unanimous decision, Nick DELOMBA, again 2-0 from Cranston, Rhode Island. More to come from the Twin River Event Center coming up next.